and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marta and I am the chef and author of Sense and Edibility, a site where I teach you everything you need to know about cooking, baking, and cocktail making. And today we are getting us some good luck with black-eyed peas and rice. For me, black-eyed peas was always a New Year's Day tradition. We always had it in our house on New Year's Day. We had to eat it for good luck or for prosperity in the new year. The problem with our black-eyed peas and rice is that my dad didn't really make good ones. So they tasted like straight dirt, like earth, like black-eyed peas taste naturally. I feel like my dad's philosophy was if I water it down with a bunch of spices and aromatics, then I'll dilute the luck. So he basically just added water, a few bay leaves, and a ham hock. And they tasted pretty bad. So I never liked them growing up. But I'm very adamant about teaching my children and my family in general about their culture. And part of the African American culture and the Southern culture, and what I'm finding to be true is most of the country celebrates New Year's Day by eating some amount, whether it's a forkful or a whole bowl full of black-eyed peas and rice. New Year's Day is coming, and I want my last video of the year to be one that hopefully brings you good luck in the coming year. And I want to teach you how to make my black-eyed peas and rice. But before we do that, please take a minute to subscribe to my channel and sign up for notifications so that you can get notified every time I post a new video in the coming year. And we'll get into how I make my black-eyed peas and rice. Let's begin with, I apologize that my head is cut off in the video. But it is the end of the year and I'm tired and I don't want any comments down below about how I didn't do a good job on this video. Okay? All right. Thanks. Now take a pound of black-eyed peas, dried black-eyed peas. And the first thing you need to do with any form of dried beans is sort through them. Oftentimes you're going to find broken little bits like this. You will also find twigs or stones. You'll find desiccated beans that just look like they, were out on an all-night bender or something. Those are not the beans you want to include in your black-eyed peas and rice. So just sort through them and you're going to discard them. I sort my beans 3 times, always 3 times. You don't have to, but I recommend it because you miss stuff. So these are my rejects, not a lot, which means that my beans are pretty good quality. What you want to do now is add your beans to a large mixing bowl and then cover them with 6 cups of cold water and allow them to soak for 2 to 3 hours. They're going to plump up very nicely for you. Once they've soaked, you're going to drain them. And then you're going to add them to a large Dutch oven and cover them with 6 more cups of cold water. You want to bring these up to a simmer over medium heat. Give them a stir every once in a while and simmer them with the lid on. After about 20 minutes, you're going to remove 2 cups of the cooking liquid. This is going to give your beans that you cook flavor and some texture. Set that cooking liquid to the side and drain the rest of the liquid from the beans. You can go ahead and let the black-eyed peas sit in a strainer inside a clean sink while you prepare the base. So to olive oil, I'm going to add the Trinity, which are green bell peppers, onion, and celery. I'm also adding minced garlic and minced jalapeno pepper. You don't have to add the jalapeño if you don't like spicy food, but I find that it adds just another level of flavor. So add these to the hot oil in a pot set over medium heat. And you're going to saute these for about 2 minutes or until they become glossy. After 2 minutes, decrease the temperature to medium low, and you want to saute these for about 13 minutes or until they form almost a paste. They're going to break down considerably. You don't want these to caramelize or darken too much. So if they start to darken, turn down the heat or add a little bit of water. Now we're going to season it with bay leaves, dried thyme. You can also use fresh thyme, tomato paste, ground cumin, seasoned salt or adobo. You can also add allspice, black pepper, and cayenne pepper, which is optional. Again, if you don't like spice, you can omit this. Stir all these into the aromatics, making sure you get that tomato paste nice and mixed in. And you're going to turn the heat up to medium. What you want to do is saute these for 1 to 2 minutes, stirring frequently to keep it from scorching on the bottom before you add your cooking liquid. Now, I'm using ham broth, but you can also use cold water. You also want to return that cooking liquid from the black eyed peas back to the pot. If you're using plain water, use a ham bouillon cube or chicken bouillon or the paste to add more flavor. And finally, add a smoked ham hock to the liquid in the pot. Now, you're going to bring this up to a gentle simmer over medium heat before reducing the heat to medium low. And then you're going to cover the pot. And you're going to cook this liquid for 10 minutes to concentrate all of the flavors in the liquid. Now, after 10 minutes, go ahead and give the liquid another stir. And you're going to gently stir in the softened black-eyed peas. You're going to continue cooking the black-eyed peas after they're all in the pot over medium-low heat because you don't want them to boil rapidly or they're going to break apart. So cover the pot and cook the peas for 20 to 30 minutes, gently stirring them every so often. And after 30 minutes or 25 minutes, go ahead and give a few peas a taste and see if they're nice and soft. Mine were perfect. And for me, I like a thick broth or a thick sauce. So I use an immersion blender to blend just a few of the black eyed peas in the pot. And then they're ready to go. Now, normally I would take the ham hock out and shred the meat from it and return it to the pot. I recommend doing that because then it's just a waste of the ham hock. Go ahead and spoon your black eyed peas over your white rice. I have a recipe that I'm linking right now to how to make steamed white rice so that you are not left out in the cold. Scallions are a fantastic garnish and you're ready to enjoy your bowl of good luck. And yes, to look at me with my head chopped off as I explain more about this recipe. Ham hock too. I gotta get a smaller piece because if I don't, then y'all know how I am when I. Oh, wow, my mouth is watering. Mmm. Mm. 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 Let me finish chewing and I'll come back and answer some frequently asked questions I get about this recipe. Mm. Mm-hmm. This is absolutely the #1 question that I get about this recipe. I sometimes in the recipe that is on my site, I will refer to this as Hoppin' John. It is not technically Hoppin' John because Hoppin' John are often made with field peas and the mixture is mixed, much like arroz con gandules or Jamaican rice and peas. My recipe is black-eyed peas spooned on top of white rice. So it is not technically Hoppin' John. I know a lot of people use the term interchangeably. They sometimes call it Hoppin' John sometimes don't, but technically this is not Hoppin' John. My friend Amethyst Ganaway has written a few articles about the differences between Hoppin' John and black-eyed peas and rice, and you can find a link for one of her articles on my site attached to this recipe. So I hope you check it out and show Amethyst some love. There is a quick soak method for the black-eyed peas if you are short on time. And I explain that in detail on my website, on the recipe page, but it's basically put it in a pot of water, bring it up to a boil, turn the water off or turn the stove off and allow it to sit for about 2 hours. For me, it's kind of like, I use that technique whenever I'm pressed for time or I just get a craving for black-eyed peas, but it works. Yeah, it works. You have to soak your black-eyed peas though. You have to soak any dried bean. If you don't, you will spend the entire day, and I do mean the entire day, simmering your peas to get them to a point where they are soft enough to be edible. And for me, that's just like, I'm not doing that. I'm not sitting over a stove waiting for my peas to get soft when I can just soak them. You can absolutely soak your peas the night before. Put the peas in their soaking water in the fridge and keep them there overnight. And then when you're ready to use them, you go ahead and use them. Now remember, the longer you soak your peas, the more they're going to fall apart as you cook them. So you might want to decrease your cooking time by about 10 to 15 minutes. You can also soak your peas, drain them, and freeze them. Soak them for the 2 to 3 hours. Put them in a freezer storage bag and freeze them for up to 6 months. You can freeze them for a while. You can replace the dried black-eyed peas in this recipe with canned black-eyed peas. I would recommend draining them and rinsing them really well of the canning liquid and then proceeding as normal. Obviously, you won't have to sort them or soak them or parboil them. You would just add them to the liquid with a hem hock, you know. And they might not take 20 minutes to cook through. They might probably only take like 15, maybe even 10. So yeah, you can use canned black-eyed peas if you want. I don't know how much luck you'll get though, because I feel like canned black-eyed peas don't give as much luck as dried. That's a theory I have. It's not based on anything factual, but that's just my theory. Now, if you abstain from pork, you can always replace the ham hock in this recipe with smoked turkey wings, smoked turkey leg, like a drumstick, turkey tails, turkey necks. So yes, you can replace the ham hock. I would also obviously replace the ham bouillon or the ham stock if you're using one or the other with turkey stock if you have some left over from the holidays, or with chicken stock. You can also use vegetable stock. You could also use beef stock. I add the ham stock or the ham bouillon to give it tons of flavor. And when you taste these black-eyed peas, you're going to be blown away by how flavorful they are. They're bomb. To store your black-eyed peas, I store mine separately from the rice. All I do is I allow it to cool and I transfer it into a food storage container and put it in the fridge for about 3 to 4 days. To reheat it, I just pop it in the microwave or put it on the stove and reheat what I plan to eat. Same thing with the rice. I just throw the rice in the microwave and heat it, and then I do my thing with putting the black-eyed peas on the rice. You can also freeze black-eyed peas, transfer them to a freezer-safe storage container and freeze them for 3 to 4 months. Same thing with the rice, you can do that as well. If you don't know how to make white rice, I have made a video along with this one so that you know how to make steamed white rice to go with your black-eyed peas. So you're welcome. That's my New Year's gift to you. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my recipe for black-eyed peas and rice. This is a very special recipe for me because it has redeemed black-eyed peas for me as an adult. My kids love it, so they're not going to grow up not having good luck. And I do believe it. As superstitious as it sounds, we all have our little things. And I believe that eating black-eyed peas and rice for New Year's Day does bring me some kind of good fortune. You don't have to. You can just eat it because it's good. But that's what I hold on to because that's part of my culture as a Black American. That's how we grew up. That's part of what we were taught by our ancestors. And I'm very proud to share it with you, and I'm very proud to share it with my family and my friends as well. So I do hope if you've never tried black-eyed peas and rice for New Year's, I hope you will try it this year. And as this is the last video of the year that I'm posting on my YouTube channel, I just want to thank you for being a part of my community. You don't have to watch my videos. You don't have to engage with my videos. You don't have to encourage me, but you do. And it means the world to me. I know that you could watch any other video or any other channel on YouTube, but to have you here with me means a lot to me. And I truly feel blessed and humbled by the amount of support that I get from my community. 2023 is going to bring a lot more videos, a lot more tutorials on how to do culinary techniques and fundamentals. So I hope you stay tuned and I hope you continue to be a part of my community. Let me know in the comments below if you tried this black-eyed peas and rice recipe and what you thought of it. Let me know if you have any traditions that you follow on New Year's Day. I know another one of my traditions is on New Year's Eve to eat 12 grapes as fast as I can. So that's from my Hispanic culture, and this is from my Black culture. So I do hope you share with me what your traditions are for bringing in the new year. And I also would love to know if you have any resolutions or if you have any goals that you hope to achieve in 2023. You can find this recipe for black-eyed peas and rice on my site, senseandedibility.com. I'll link it below in the description box along with some equipment that I use in this video. Please don't forget to sign up for notifications if you've already subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe now to my channel so that you can get notified every single time I post a new video. And in the meantime, have the happiest, safest new year possible. And I will see you in 2023. Bye.